We're still slowly being poisoned, even though we've been vigilant. Our combined efforts have led our legislative leaders and others to make our food suppliers more responsible for the foods they supply. And they are now required to stock our markets with healthier foods for our consumption. I've noticed in the foods that I choose to eat, trans fats have been for the most part eliminated, saturated fats drastically reduced, and even fast food markets are required to carry a larger selection of healthier alternatives. But there is more we can do. While we have the momentum, we must continue to act. We must encourage a broader sweeping changes for healthier food choices, for foods we eat and the packaging they come in. We must still act together, and with the help of our legislative leaders, we must confront corporate farms and make them aware that we are aware of poisons added to our foods through their processing, their genetic manipulation, and that their foods are raped in nutritional value through the process of irradiation. They must be told loud and clear, once and for all, these products have no place in our markets. A study published in 2010 in the Indian Medical Journal state the results of our statistical analysis of data extracted from satisfactory quality groups found no evidence of differences between organically and conventionally produced crops for 8 of the nutritional groups analyzed. The article goes on to name what those eight nutrient groups were. But doesn't it make a person wonder who actually paid for that study? Julie Schmidt in the USA Today article argues irradiation destroys bacteria with intense pulses of energy that disrupt its DNA. But doesn't it stand to reason that the DNA of the food is also disrupted? This is an apple purchased over 3 months ago. Barely a blemish on it. This is an apple purchased 7 days to 10 days ago, and it's already starting to blemish. That's just a difference. And I think we all know the answer to whether or not the DNA of the food source is actually disrupted as well. Today, large corporate-run farms use the term conventional farming to describe their methods of planting, growing, and harvesting, as if their way of farming is the natural way. We can reverse this trend by telling our leaders that conventional farming is that of small farms that grow organic foods from the seeds that are not genetically modified. Farms where crop rotating enriches the soil without petroleum-based insecticides and fertilizers. We must also tell our legislative leaders we're tired of the turnstile appointments for people like Michael Taylor, who in between appointments to the FDA holds a high corporate position in the large farming organization of Monsanto. Michael Taylor, in his role at Monsanto, lobbied to have genetically modified foods classified as organic, and continued that crusade in his appointments to the FDA by Presidents Clinton, Bush, and now under Obama, where he's considered to be the food czar. I think appointments to the FDA should be farmers of small organic farms who reflect our values and our beliefs of what is acceptable food. Farmers that don't practice irradiation of food so that they keep their nutritional value and they will satisfy our sensory perception of taste. An article wrote in Men's Health in 2010 states, organic foods are safer because they are produced without dangerous chemicals and preventive antibiotics. Which leads me to my second main point, is that our fight should not end at the food itself. We must expand our fight to its packaging, specifically the packaging that leads harmful chemicals to our foods and beverages in which it contains. As you know, bisphenol A, better known as BPA, is leached from polycarbonate plastics that are used from water bottles to baby food can liners, jewelry, and many other products. In a recent study conducted at the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America, bisphenol A, again better known as BPA, is leached into foods and beverages from the packaging they are contained in. And in an earlier study conducted by the Environmental Health Perspectives, this was in 2010, which had almost the exact same results as the National Academy of Sciences of the United States did. And to continue, according to Dr. Frederick Baum-Sal, biology professor at the University of Missouri, in a 2011 interview stated, among other serious side effects, BPA is responsible for heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and obesity. The use of these products is also regulated by the FDA, and it's just another example of why a change in appointments is necessary. With the change of leadership at the FDA from leaders who hold corporate interests in a higher regard than our well-being to leaders who recognize the hidden dangers in polycarbonate plastics, those that leach BPA to the foods we consume. In closing, people who have known me for a long time know I've been no angel, and for the large portion of my life have treated my body as nothing more than a filter. Stuff goes in, stuff happens, stuff comes out. But when I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, I joined your fight to make healthier food choices available to not just me and you, but all Americans at all times. Now I ask you, no, I beg you, please continue this fight, and not just to make corporate interests responsible, but also accountable for their behavior of slowly poisoning us. And then they justify their actions by funding studies that reflect their own selfish interests that are not necessarily the truth, and certainly not the interests of the American consumer or you and me. Thank you very much.